Hello, and welcome to Viewpoints, Dominion DMS's video podcast series where we highlight our vendor partners. I'm Sharon Kitzman, president of Dominion DMS, and with us today we are speaking with David Phillips. He's the founder and president of Crypton. David, welcome.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So I was poking around on the Crypton website, and you have a number of products. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and tell our dealers that are watching a little bit more about Crypton and how the products that you offer can help dealers.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity today, Sharon. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh. So we have a long and successful business for over 15 years. Serving mostly the consumer finance and real estate markets. We have a handful of auto dealers, but to better meet the needs and grow the segment of our business, we've now hired some individuals that have over 30 years of automotive experience. And as you mentioned, we do have a lot of different tools. Some of them are overwhelming. There's probably maybe too many. I don't know, but we have quite a few that we think dealers will find to be useful. The pandemic changed the way that the automobile business does business when dealers, they just have to rethink the way that they do things because customers don't always want to come into the dealership. I just recently experienced this with myself, and I'll go into that later. Many dealers, they have to adopt remote selling. Customers embraced it. Limited inventory, the dealers are still struggling with that. Consumers want to use the internet to find the vehicle that they want. And many times they make those decisions, those purchasing decisions across the country without ever stepping foot into the actual dealership itself. So there are a few products that we have that we think are going to be helpful. And as I said, that some of our customers are already using now in automobile. And it's we have an e-signature product called CryptoSign. It's easy for both the dealer as well as the consumer. Dealers can make changes to the contract on the fly, and it speeds up the selling and closing process. One of the issues that dealers need to be concerned about when doing remote signing is to make sure that the person that they are working with remotely is actually the real individual that it's supposed to be to prevent fraud. So we do have another product called Crypto Verify that uses facial recognition and machine learning to verify the front of an individual's driver's license, that it matches the information on the back of the driver's license. And we can also use that same facial recognition using AI for someone who may not have a driver's license, but has a passport. We also offer something called crypto text, which allows simple text messaging. Everybody knows what texting is, but it does allow your dealers to communicate with their customers the way that they want to be communicated with, and they can do it in mass. It can be one-on-one or one-off, or it can be in mass. How many times do you get a call from an unrecognized number and you ignore it? You don't answer it. I do it all the time. If I don't recognize it, I'm not going to answer it. But I do read, view, and open almost all text messages because I do see those, and I do engage with those much more. And it's across the country. It's accepted that texting is much more effective than a phone call, for sure, because people are going to get it and they're going to see it, look at the phone, and read it.
Right.
Crypto text also uses AI to make sure if the customer wants to opt out, they can. Not all customers reply back with the word stop. We are instructed to reply with stop, but some of them get very verbose in their responses, and they are not always friendly words that they're responding with. But we do have artificial intelligence that can filter those people out and keep them in or keep them out of the campaigns that your dealerships want to be have their customers a parts of. And so those are just a few of the things that we have. So the signature, the verification for identity verification, artificial intelligence, texting, and other things.
Wow, it's interesting. I mean, I had an experience, and I know you're going to share a recent experience you had, but you do want to do as much as possible online. And it does seem like a lot of different providers are out there now offering software to help dealers through the online buying process. But as you just described, there's so many components to it, from the verify component and the fraud part of it, and making sure that it is the actual person compared to the driver's license that they showed. So there are a number of providers that are out there trying to, smooth through the process of online car buying between the consumer and the dealer. What's something that makes the products that Crypton has unique, maybe compared to some of your competitors?
It's really going to come back to the integration, honestly. So being integrated with Dominion is going to make the online buying process seamless. It should be a breeze for customers, and of course for our clients, the dealerships. Because of the partnership with Dominion, we integrate directly, saving the dealership the pain of having to manually input information. But also by using the combination of our tools, it should give us a huge advantage over our competition, as well as a much more competitive pricing model.
Right. So, if I think about all the third-party vendors, software solutions, et cetera, that a dealer needs to go out and sort through and invest in order to run their business, it's pretty complicated. But as you just said, one of the unique values that we can offer a dealer together is seamless integration that hopefully drives some efficiency into the process for their users in the dealership that the consumer then also feels. So how can we, Crypton and Dominion DMS, work together differently, better in the future in order to continue to offer those types of efficiencies for dealers?
So can you be a little bit more specific on what you're thinking?
Is there additional data elements that we could offer that we haven't put in our APIs, or maybe a deeper relationship between the two companies where we talk more frequently about opportunities to improve the integration for our clients?
Absolutely. So I'm always about meeting with clients one-on-one. So for me, virtual is absolutely fine, but I'm always in favor of meeting dealerships in person, whether it's me or a team of individuals coming and actually meeting someone in person. Not everybody is open to that, but I'm an old sales guy, really. So I'm more of an in-person knocking on a door and want to develop and maintain that relationship over time. Really, that's one thing that's going to separate us, is that we do have a team of individuals that are available, and we're available quickly for our dealerships, for our mutual partners, to get them moving forward in the right direction, and also do whatever we possibly can to make things more efficient for them and to reduce the risk of fraud.
Great. You mentioned earlier, still dealing with inventory shortages. I like to call our industry an ever-evolving industry. It feels like there's always something on the horizon that dealers are dealing with. And if I look back historically over the last couple of years with the pandemic and team member shortages, especially in skill sets like technicians, then the chip shortage, and now a continuing inventory shortage, dealers have really had to, fight their way through a number of challenges and figure out how to operate differently. Now, you and us are part of this entree into this digital retailing space that dealers are probably still trying to figure out a little bit as well. As you and your team, and I know you serve multiple industries, not just automotive, but as you and your team sit down and think about the challenges that might be ahead of dealers, whether it's in the digital retailing space or something else, right? Another rate hike or something along those lines. What do you think about with your solution that could help dealers take advantage of maybe an upside or an upturn in the market, or protect themselves from a possible downturn in the market?
Uh, One of the things that Crypton offers is a product called Cryptonium. This is a cryptocurrency payment gateway. And believe it or not, this is one of the things that we feel will differentiate ourselves too, is that over the past probably 2 years at NADA,
Hmm.
one of the most common questions that we got at our booth was, do you have a way that if someone were to purchase a vehicle and they wanted to pay in cryptocurrency, could you help us do that?
Mhm.
So we have been paying attention to the blogs, and it seems like the conversations regarding around cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. Some of the dealers are turning away that business. Some of them are interested, some of them are not, or maybe they feel like they aren't able to do it because of fraud. That's one of the things that we feel that we can help those dealerships with. Is we've actually built a payment gateway where dealerships can start accepting cryptocurrency.
Hmm.
If someone wanted to purchase a vehicle in cryptocurrency, we could help facilitate that transaction instead of turning it down, but also reducing the risk of fraud at the same time.
Yeah, I bet very few dealers are prepared for that without a solution like your own. That's amazing. Thank you for that. Um, Here at Dominion DMS, we try to not only provide the best possible DMS to our dealer clients, but we also want to make sure that we are opening up opportunities for integration to as many other vendors like yourselves, and the solutions that the dealers' OEMs are asking them to also implement. If you had a piece of advice for my team going forward, as it relates to either integrations with third-party solutions or the auto industry in general, what would that be?
Oh goodness. All right. So just as Dominion, just as you have larger competitors that you have to go up against
Mhm.
every day, and so does Crypton. We
Yeah.
face the same challenges, but with the integration with Crypton and Dominion and our better pricing model, the combination of our tools to help the dealer as well as our superior customer service, the team should feel confident in recommending our solutions to give them an edge over their competition. We can also work with your partner vendors who send contracts out to dealers on a daily basis. So we feel like we're going to be the perfect fit for Dominion and for your customers.
Excellent. And for dealers who are listening to this podcast who maybe haven't heard of Crypton yet, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you if they want to learn more or possibly get a demonstration of your solutions?
Anyone can always go to cryptonmobile.com. So Crypton with a C, cryptonmobile.com, or anybody listening to this podcast is more than welcome to call or text me. If you call me, I'm not going to answer. But if you text me, I will respond, I promise. My number is 706-955-6407, 706-955-6407. Feel free to text me anytime, and would love to speak with you.
Excellent. Thank you. So as we kind of complete the podcast here today, David, in this auto industry that just kind of runs through my blood for the last 32 years, do you have a car story or maybe something that's special to you about the auto industry that you'd like to share?
I have to think of my first car. And that was a long time ago. My 20-year-old son just asked me last night, Dad, do you think that you could teach me how to drive a stick? And he called it a manual. I said, yeah, I can teach you how to do that. But I said, we don't even own one. So we'll have to go rent one or find one. I said, but now that you brought that up, the first car I ever got was a 2000. It was not even, I don't even know what year it was. You're going to have to help me. I don't know. It was a Datsun 210.
Oh.
A Datsun 210 hatchback. It was a stick shift, and it was absolutely one of the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life. But I had so many fun times in that. It was a stick. That's how I learned to drive a stick, and I absolutely loved it. Great times, ugly car, A lot of fun, but I was so thankful that I was able to get it and experience and
Yeah.
have fun in that.
Yeah, I remember my first stick shift as well. It is something that you hold dear because you're actively driving it, right? You're
You
not
really are.
just, you can't just zone out when you're driving those
Not
cars. You are
not
an
at
active
all.
driver.
You're right. It
Active
was a
driver.
lot of fun, a lot
Well,
of
good for
memories.
you. Good for you. Well, David, thank you so much for your time today. And it sounds like the Crypton suite of solutions are just what a dealer needs as they're embarking on this new adventure in digital retailing and making sure that the transactions are safe and secure with their consumers. So we appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Sharon. We appreciate the partnership.